everyone and welcome back to Big OGGIE World and Irish Week, because on Friday it's going to be St Patrick's Day.
Woohoo!
Woohoo! So we're going to do a pretty bog standard recipe that you see a lot in Ireland, and that is colcannon. And colcannon is basically potatoes and cabbage. There are variations. Ours is a little bit of a variation in as much as it's got a little bit of bacon with it, and it's also got some double cream in it, so it's quite a luxurious one.
It is a slightly posh version of colcannon.
It is a bit posh.
To be honest, colcannon you can throw in lots of things.
Yeah, some people
have
put
thrown
onions
spring onions in it.
Um,
Kale is the other one, but you're not keen on kale, so it's quite irony.
Kale is quite tough, I find. One of the most important things though about colcannon is it is made with floury potatoes. Most of Ireland love their floury potatoes.
You do?
These are Albert Bartlett's roosters, and you also used to get roosters or queens. That was the two major types of potato. Now the one thing that most people in Ireland will do, and it was quite a shock actually when I first went to dinner at someone's house, and there was like a dinner plate and a side plate and la 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 la, and I thought, oh, a side plate, bread and butter or a little salad or something, and was shocked when I got a potato put on my side plate, and then was even more shocked when everybody around the table started peeling their potato on the side plate with a knife and fork.
Well, it was still hot, obviously.
Obviously, yeah. That was really random to me, and then I think they thought I was even weirder because I then put my potato onto my plate and there was butter around, so I mashed butter into my potato, but I also had the skin, and they all looked at me like I was doing something very strange. So, you know, we all have our own little ways of doing things.
Well, when I used to go to the local restaurant and found out about their food, if you put butter and milk and all those kind of things together, that's creamed potato. Yeah, that's not mashed potato. Mashed potato is potato smashed up with a fork.
And if you go into a supermarket and ask for mashed potato, you will get mashed potatoes with mayonnaise. That's mashed potato. So I'm not going to cook these in their skins, basically because they're quite large, so they'll take quite a long time. But what they usually do is they cook them in their skins because they are so floury. If you cook them too quickly, they will just go to pap. There will be nothing left. So I'm going to peel these, and I'm going to cook them very gently. And hopefully...
I'm just going to pop in, because while you're discussing that, we're going to pad this out because it's an easy recipe. When I first moved in, I went to the Super Value. Everyone goes to Super Value, And I was speaking to the guy in there about veg and stuff I could do, and he was saying, "Oh, you're English. I bet your potatoes are exploding." And I said, "I have no idea. I can't do it." He said, "That's because we use floury ones. I'm not putting an Irish accent on." And then you have to you partly boil them, and then you take all the water out, you steam them for the last bit.
Some people do.
Yeah, floury ones explode, don't they?
So you need to be very gentle with them. So the reason I'm not going to boil them in their skins is because I don't have asbestos hands, and because it is colcannon, we need to mash the hot potatoes with butter and cream, and then we're going to add some bacon and cabbage to it. And I don't have the hands to be able to do that.
They'd be cold by the time you got to that point. It's not necessary. It's good, actually. It does keep nutrients in and everything, but it's difficult.
And it really works. If you're used to doing it, it's brilliant. But if you're not, then peel them, but cook them very gently, which is what I'm going to do.
If you've got large potatoes, you cut them in half. You
need to cut them anyway. As soon as you cut them, you've lost the integrity of the skin anyway. So that's what I'm going to do. So I'm going to go off and peel my spuds and get them going, and then I'll come back and show you what I'm doing with the cabbage and the bacon. So I'll be back in a bit.
Nicely padded, love. Well done.
Okay, so the next stage of what you need to do is you need to cook your cabbage and your bacon together. Now this causes a problem, certainly here in England anyway, because currently most of our bacon is pumped full of water, and when you go to cook it, it comes out with all this wet mushy stuff, which if you cook in the pan, burns and everything's very salty and it's just nasty. So what I have developed, my own way of doing things, is to cook your bacon first, certainly part of the way anyway, it sort of gets to a point where it stops leaching out water. So to start off with, I'm going to add my bacon to my pan. It's finely chopped. There's about 170 grams ish. It's about 4 rashers, I think.
We'll put measurements down, but to be honest, it's a throw it in recipe.
It is
put in
really.
as much in, or as you like of everything.
But the actual if you read up how to do colcannon, it will tell you to put part of your butter in the pan and cook your bacon and cabbage together in the butter. If you do that, you're going to end up, like I said, with a load of wet, watery, not very nice tasting stuff. So I'm going to cook my bacon, and when it starts leaching the water, which it will, I've got some kitchen roll and a pair of tongs, and I will mop around the pan to get rid of all of that watery white stuff. Once I've got rid of all that, then I will add some butter and put my cabbage in and cook it traditionally. So at the moment, that's where I'm doing it, that's what I'm at. And the potatoes are on, and we just have to take, this is a slow recipe, you're not going to throw this together in 10 minutes. So, but it's worth it.
I was just thinking, I can't remember, because we used to have another channel, which used to be called Big OGGIE Bakehouse, I believe. And then we closed it down to revamp it into this one, so that everything was on this one.
Yeah.
I don't think we still got the recipe where we actually made bacon.
I don't think we probably have.
So maybe we should go to do that again, because that way you don't get any impurities and rubbish, you actually do it properly.
Yeah, and that's much better.
If you'd like us to do that, actually how to bake bacon, it's quite a fun thing to do.
It's very simple.
Very simple.
And cheap.
And cheap.
Certainly compared with what you will buy in the supermarket, it's much cheaper. Obviously though, the majority of what you're able to create at your home is going to be streaky. So back bacon takes a little bit more stuff. So as you can hear, it's starting to sizzle and that stuff is already coming out.
We're going to let you get that sorted down to the point where you need to put your butter in, and we'll come back.
Yeah, absolutely. So I'm back. My bacon's done, and I'm going to add a knob of butter, sizable knob of butter. Melt that down a bit.
Everything with butter is good.
Well, the butter is, all this is going into your potato, so nothing now is going to waste. So it's flavour all the way.
We're using smoked bacon, you can make your own decision, but
absolutely.
I'll just note that.
And then what you need is half of a Savoy cabbage. Now, we've had great fun this week because John is very disappointed in his Savoy cabbage.
They're pale. They're like white cabbages. They're so pale, it's ridiculous.
They are very pale, and they're also very small at the minute.
I think supermarkets are trimming all the dark leaves off.
Well,
that's why I think they can
now, I will say that we are in Cornwall. It is March 2023. Whether this is something to do with the weather, because we're having dreadful trouble getting certain fruits and vegetables, and they're blaming it on the weather worldwide, or whether these cabbages have been in cold storage since whenever,
don't know.
And so they've been kept in the dark and therefore not been very
Well, they're not very green. They're just
but basically, I'm sure they'll taste beautiful.
yeah, it just might not look
It just won't look as green
you'd expect.
as you'd expect. So you need to slice it thinly, and you're going to put half of a small cabbage in with your bacon. And basically, you're going to stir fry it
Yeah.
until it gets soft. If you've got any bits of like hard core, take those out. And I've taken the big core out of the middle, so that's gone anyway. But you don't want tough bits if you can help it. Now, you're not going to stir fry this till it goes brown and all the rest of it. What you want it to do is to soften down some, so that when you put it into your potatoes, you still have some cabbage integrity. Obviously, if you boiled it, you would add more water to your potatoes, so it would be a bit sloppier, and you probably would lose it as a mush. You wouldn't be able to sort of pick out pieces
It would
of
go the
cabbage.
way you normally like your cabbage. Super soft.
We all have our little foibles.
Well, we were brought up with family members who taught us how to cook when everything got boiled to within an inch of its life.
Yep.
And then a bit more.
I remember asking my grandma once, because whenever she did cabbage, she always soaked it in a bowl of water with salt and bicarb. And I remember asking her once why she did that. And she said because once she didn't do it when she first got married. And she remembers serving up cabbage onto my granddad's plate and there was a caterpillar on it.
Did you wash this one?
I didn't, no.
No, there you go. Well, it'll add to the bacon if there's anything, but I don't think there's anything on it. It's fine.
But things aren't as dirty as they used to be
No,
either.
everything's washed and prepared now.
And I don't like dirty potatoes, I have to say. I don't like potatoes
That's
with
just because
dirt
you're
on.
lazy and don't have to deal with the dirt of them. Or
No,
you
no.
feel them. One day we'll have an allotment. Yeah,
Yeah,
then
right.
you'll have to suffer having to.
If we have an allotment,
Do that.
mate, that's your job, down to you, because I cannot be digging.
No, you're not well enough.
No.
No. One day we have a load of money, I'll hire a gardener. I will have an
That's
allotment.
nice.
Yeah.
So as you can see, this is sort of
Well, we know.
cooking down some now. It's wilting, yeah. Whoops, the potatoes are gone. Turn them right down to a very low.
That's it.
And that, people, is where we're at for now. So I'm just going to let this cook for a few more minutes and then I'll turn it off and it'll be ready for when the potatoes are done. But they will be done in the fullness of time. I can't put a time on that because we need to go gently, gently. See you in a minute.
Well, what are we doing?
So the potatoes are now done.
Yes, they are.
If you could mash them for
I
me,
will, 'cause
that
you
would be
can do
really
that.
good.
Yeah, carry on.
So those potatoes probably took a half an hour at least.
Yeah, because you had to do them low and slow, and they are very
Absolutely.
floury, aren't they?
They
Do
are.
that.
For some reason, I mean, I prefer not floury, I prefer waxy potatoes.
It's an English thing.
Yeah.
Again, it's that English thing. Waxy potatoes for us.
But the amount of times I heard when I was in Ireland, oh, lovely little balls of flour, and I'm
Yeah.
thinking, who'd want to eat a load of flour?
Well, when I first moved in, obviously I used to drive quite a lot coming back from Britain and Ireland due to my other business.
Yeah.
Yeah. There was quite a few times that I didn't know what certain names of potatoes and things were. And they do lots of stalls on the main roads.
They do,
on the
yeah.
N5, I think it was the motorway. And there'd be lots of stalls going, British Queens now available. I had no idea what a British Queen was. I went to the stall and it ended up being potatoes with skins on. I suppose they're like what we would say Jersey Rolls, kind of the special potato of that
Yeah.
season.
So we put some butter in there.
Yes, we did.
With butter, I say add it to your own taste, but remember that you're going to add 150 mils of double cream into there.
Yeah, there's a lot of
okay?
butter in this as well already. So
In goes the cream.
we are currently using a hand masher. I would also say we've got a potato ricer, which is brilliant if you're going to do really super smooth mash, but that's what this is today. So
No, you can't have super smooth Colcannon because you're going to put cabbage in it, darling.
Yeah,
and bacon.
it's a slightly worse thing. There won't be any lumps as such.
Not in the potato, but there will be
No.
lumps because of the cabbage.
Yeah.
So I can do that
You
because
all right,
now you've
Beth?
done
You okay with
you've done the hard stuff, so it's just a mixed job now.
We'll bring this one over.
If you could, that'd be amazing. Right, do you want to do a close-up mash before we add that in?
Oh, multitasking. Look, I've got to do that. I've got to run over and get a camera. There you go. So, there's your bacon and cabbage, all nicely done.
Wilted down, and you can see how creamy the potato
It is,
is.
but actually you can also see the floury texture of it compared
Yeah.
to what we would normally do when we create mash.
So into that now, I'm going to pour the contents of this pan, which is the bacon, the cabbage, and obviously all of the butter that was cooked in. So in all that goes as well. You can see some bits of melted butter dripping off there. Waste not, want not.
All adds to the flavour. It's actually a meal in one. you know?
Absolutely. And now you're going to mix it in. Now, obviously, this is homemade, so it's not processed to within an inch of its life. It's not going to look anything like the stuff that you buy in the shops, which has all been
In the
like,
plastic pots.
yeah, mashed together and you can hardly find a piece in it. But it is delicious.
Now,
and it is
before you
hearty.
finish, because I know you're probably near finishing with it,
Yeah,
you see you put salt in the water when you do the potatoes.
I did.
You've not put salt or pepper in this.
No, I
Did you put
haven't.
pepper in this? A lot of people would put pepper in their potato. You're not a keen pepper person, are you?
I tend to like season it to my own taste when I get it on the plate.
When you plate it up.
Yeah, because I like salt, you like a bit of pepper.
Yeah.
Georgia doesn't like any of it.
I'm just
So-
basically saying that you can put salt and pepper to taste your own when you wish to do so. Good?
Delicious.
Right.
So, there's your colcannon. We are going to have ours tonight with some smoked haddock kind of poached egg.
Yep. Nice pile
Obviously-
of one and then a pile of another and then a pile on top of that.
So
Very
obviously
pretty.
you can use it in any way, any time that there's a mashed potato called for, try some colcannon. Brilliant if you're trying to get extra veg into the kids, if they're young enough to not spot it and they like mashed potato. Ours unfortunately is a bit too old for that now, and so this will be mine and John's tea.
Yeah,
Because,
ours won't eat anything green.
well, one will, but won't eat bacon.
No. And
The
what
other will eat bacon, but won't eat anything green.
Teenagers,
so,
eh?
Yeah, teenagers for you. So that's it. Hope you've enjoyed it. As we said, this is another nod to our Irish week. Let us know how you get on if you try it. Obviously, like we said, you can add spring onions, you can try a different cabbage, whatever you like. But this is sort of more or less the most traditional way of
Yeah, we've
of
got a
doing
couple of other
things.
ones to do. I think we're going to do a champ, which is very similar again
Yeah,
as a side
that
dish.
is oniony.
Yep. We're going to do bacon and cabbage, I believe, is another one.
Yeah, we're going to do boiled bacon and cabbage this week as well.
But whether it be on, oh, that's nice. Whether it be on, oh, I can't stop now. Whether it be on this week or next week,
We'll see.
time will tell. Yeah, we've got
Yeah.
a couple of cocktails to throw in as well, I think.
Yeah.
So, very good, darling.
So, hope
Can't
you
wait.
like it. Give us a thumbs up. Make sure you subscribe. Come and join us. Tell your
No,
friends.
sorry, you were closed up on this. I had to top my head off that.
Tell your friends about us. Come and see what's going on this funny,
on both channels, Big OGGIE Golf and Big
funny
OGGIE World.
channel. Yeah.
Yeah.
Never
especially
know
this one.
quite what you're going to find here, but never mind anyway. And we'll see you all again soon. So don't forget the notification bell. Bye. for now.
Bye.